Hey, how's it going everyone? What a crazy week in the stock market this week. Stocks were hitting all-time highs in the first 2 days of the week, all while ignoring the increases of virus cases. But unfortunately, all after parties have to end eventually. So let us use this opportunity to reflect on what happened in the past 1 week in the stock market. In this video, let's recap on what retail investors are buying and selling, and what are some of the top stories that you should take note of for the coming weeks. So make sure to stay to the end of this video to avoid missing any information. I keep everything short and sweet and prep you to get back into the stock market once again. With that said, let's get this video started. Hey, if this is your first time watching a video from this channel, then please consider subscribing, as I go through weekly topics ranging from personal finance to investment, and I typically upload 2 to 3 videos a week. Let's start off with the top 10 stocks retail investors are selling off this week. Starting at number 10 is MGM, a big name to be reckoned with in Las Vegas. The hotel and travel industry had a massive hit on Wednesday, when the US was reporting a massive spike in COVID cases, too big this time to be ignored unlike the past 2 weeks. It all started a week before when Apple announced that it will be temporarily closing some stores in highly affected states. And when the world's biggest company is telling you that there is a virus situation, then you better believe it. It's no surprise that it sent MGM stocks plunging. After all, it has around 10 hotels in Las Vegas alone. At number 9 is not much better neither, and that's Delta Airline. It was just about to start operating flights to China again. It is very unfortunate that the spike of COVID cases is going to keep these stocks grounded for now. Number 8 is United States Oil Fund. It's an ETF that tracks the prices of oil prices. Not surprising here though, if more planes are grounded, oil demand will also be compromised. Number 7 is Broadway Finance. It's quite sad to see this, because just last week, it was one of the top stocks retail investors are buying in support of investing into Black-centric organizations in America. This phenomenon is not unique to this time though. Many times in the past, stocks like these could only hold its steams for a short period of time. Number 6 is MFA Financial, a corporation that revolves around real estate. It is a penny stock, so it looks like day traders are having fun playing with these stocks this week. Number 5 is Nikola. Very surprising to see Nikola here, albeit its stocks were very popular at the beginning of the month, but it looks like people are now wanting to take out the profit instead. Number 4 is Carnival Cruise. Same situation as all other travel-related industry, but the stocks of Carnival was one of the most popular stocks for day traders, just like American Airlines in the airline industry. It's not surprised to see Carnival here. Number 3 is Urban One. It was the most bought stock just last week, but same as Broadway Financial, it is losing steam. Number 2 is Lucky Coffee. The future of this stock is seriously in jeopardy right now. It will be delisted from the Nasdaq very soon, if not already, by the time you're watching this video. The company has lots of internal issues as well as fraud allegations to deal with. Very messy situation for the company. It's just best to stay away from. And the biggest stock retail investors are selling this week is Genius Brand, a company that revolves around early childhood multimedia content. It is a penny stock and was sent flying about a month ago and has been one of retail investors' favorite stock for speculations from then on. None of these stocks I would recommend to get into right now, but I wouldn't mind holding some of these stocks for the time being, with the exception of Lucky Coffee. And as for the case for Nikola, I think you should either buy or hold the stock, as on Monday, it will start its pre-order for its next electrical semi-truck. It is definitely the stock to keep an eye on for the coming week. Alright, before we continue with the top 10 stocks retail investors are buying this week, let's check out some of the top stories of this week. We're gonna start with Apple. It made lots of positive announcements to its products on Monday during its annual event, the WWDC, the Worldwide Developer Conference. It sent the stocks flying on Monday and Tuesday, hitting its all-time high. It made major upgrades to its interface and softwares, as well as announcing its own processing chip for its products in future instead of using Intel's chips. Analysts have also raised the target price to be around $400 from its current price of around mid-300s. But of course, everything was left up in the air on Wednesday, when the whole market fell after the reporting of a sharp spike in corona cases that morning. The S&P fell by 3.4%, the Nasdaq by 3%, and the Dow Jones by 3.6%. All the mega-cap tech giants are not immune this time either, including Apple. It is not surprising to see this, as the past 2 weeks, the COVID cases have been rising steadily, but the past few days, the numbers just increased exponentially, as seen in March. All these times, investors are kind of comfortable with the increasing in numbers, but when Apple announced that it will be closing even more retail stores in troubled states, that's when the investors are most afraid of. And it is happening. It doesn't require governments to impose lockdown this time to affect the economy, but individual companies may choose to do so themselves, and Apple is the first of many companies to do so. And Wednesday is the realization that the virus is still around and that the economy is not well. It is predicted that more companies will be closing the stores in the coming weeks in the troubled states, and that will hurt the economy whether the government likes it or not. In a similar fashion, Amazon was supposed to have its stock sent flying after announcing its acquisition plan of the self-driving vehicle technology company, SUS. It did little to the stock prices as the whole market was just tumbling down also on Friday. But analysts have a new target price of $3,400 by the end of 2021 for Amazon, with the current price of around $2,700 as of this week. So there's definitely more room for growth for the company, even though the stocks is one of the most expensive in the stock market right now. Next is Nike. The company was going to release its quarterly earnings after the closing on Thursday, and most analysts have suggested that the company was doing very well during the pandemic. It's believed that it is one of the best-run companies in the retail sector. But unfortunately, the company did not do well, and in fact, far from analysts' estimation. And this sends chills to investors that even one of the best-run retailers can defy the effect of the pandemic. And not only that, even analysts were not able to reliably estimate earnings performances. Then what's going to happen in July, where most earning reports from many other companies are being released? Another realization that we are still far away from returning to normal. Staying with the retail sector, the apparel company Gap was one of the very few companies that was on the green on Friday. After announcing its partnership with Kanye West, having his fashion line Yeezy to be sold in Gap, a similar story happened last week when Spotify announced that they would be partnering with Kim Kardashian for its podcast business. Businesses are now questioning, is partnering with high-profile celebrities the mainstream way to go for the future of business? With that said, let's get back to the top 10 stocks retail investors are buying this week. Number 10 is Ideanomics. It was also in the top 10 last week, and since it's a penny stock, it is highly speculative. But if you have the risk tolerance, the business model of this company is actually pretty decent at first look. Just hold on to the stocks if you have already bought them, but expect volatility, as this is one of day traders' favorite stocks to play with. Number 9 is Gaps. Most of the stocks purchased happened on Friday alone when the announcement was made, but the price has consolidated since. I suspect that this price may not be sustainable given the current climate, as Gap is still a retail business. Don't be afraid to take the profit and sell the stocks. I don't see the partnership with Kanye West alone is justified enough to send the stocks up by almost 20%. Number 8 is Plug Power. It has been a day trader's favorite. It does have a sound business model revolving around hydrogen battery, but be prepared for some volatility. It just fell off its all-time high recently along with the market, so you may want to take in the profits also for this stock. Number 7 is Apple. It also fell off its all-time high this week. For long-term investing, no question asked, it's one of the most robust companies out there. As for short-term investors, you may want to check out some other stocks instead. But I would hold or buy this stock. Number 6 is Tortoise. It's actually a shell company, but its recent acquisition with Helion, a company in the electrical vehicle industry, sends the stock flying on Friday. It is similar to Tesla and Nikola. I think it's a great industry to invest in, so keep an eye on this stock. It's a buy for me. Number 5 is Workhorse, another company in the electrical vessel industry. But on top of the automobile sector, it also has an aviation sector. So if you think electric-powered planes are the future, then this may be your entry point. It's a buy for me. Number 4 is Keto Pharma, a biotech company. It's a great sector to be in right now, but it is a penny stock, so expect lots of volatility. I think there are much better biotech companies to invest in, so I would move away from Keto if you're not a day trader. It's a sell for me. Number 3 is Vaxart. This is a biotech company I much prefer than Keto. It has recently signed a contract with the US government, and it is not a penny stock. If you want to get into the biotech, this is one of the better ones, along with the next one I'm going to tell you, which is Inovio. Just last week, it was the second most sold stock by retail investors, and I strongly told people not to sell it. And see what happened this week? Stock went flying. Don't sell off any proper biotech companies during this time of uncertainty. The more fear you see in the stock market right now from the virus, the higher the prices will go in biotech. Inovio is definitely a buy. And the stock that most retail investors are buying this week, and not surprising to me, is Amazon. Watching the price plunge more than 3% this week from its all-time high on Tuesday feels like a bargain to many investors. We have all seen how bulletproof Amazon was during the first half of the first wave of the pandemic. We're now in the second half of the first wave, in case you don't realize. Amazon proved that online retail is the king of retail. Definitely a buy if you see more dips in the coming days. Don't do day tradings with Amazon. If you buy it, keep it until you retire. Alright, so that will do. Hope you guys found the information you need to get back to the stock market next week. And if you would like to watch more videos from this channel, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for staying to the end of this video. Good luck in the coming week and enjoy your weekend.